Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about a movie called Donnie Darko. One of my favorite movies. It stars Jake Gyllenhaal in his first kind of big role, right? It's a movie directed by Richard Kelly. And this movie was kind of an indie movie that not many people knew about when it came out. I remember I went to see it when it first came out in the UK. I don't know if I was alone in the theater, but basically, there was maybe 5 people there. Okay, it got re-released eventually because it became a cult kind of hit, right, over time. But the first run was I was there. The only reason I went to see it is because the review in Empire magazine was glowing. It was like a 5-star review, and I was like, wow, Empire doesn't give 5 stars to just anything. And they were absolutely right. This movie was awesome. It completely blew me away. I had never seen anything like it before. And I don't think I haven't seen anything since like that at all. It's a very unique movie. It really is one of a kind. It's a teen movie, a kind of coming of age teen movie with a difference. Okay, it's like your typical, teen movie, except the main character, he's a moody teenager, but he's got a reason to be moody. Okay, that's pretty legit because you got a time traveling bunny rabbit, all right, who came back to talk to him specifically and let him know in a dream that the end of the world is coming soon. Actually, there's a very specific date when the end of the world is coming soon. And the whole movie is about him trying to decide, like, what he's going to do. Like, what is the purpose? What is his purpose in all of this? Okay, fine. He's been given this information that the world's going to end. 2 options here. The world's actually ending. What's he going to do then? Second option, he's going completely insane. Which is the most likely option, but it leads to a lot of confusion throughout the movie because Donnie is a very smart kid. Okay, fine, he's moody, he's going through a lot of stuff, but he's a pretty smart kid. He's kind of normal in his own kind of offbeat way. Like he has normal wants and needs. He has a girlfriend in the movie, and it's a very cute relationship they have. And he very much knows right from wrong. It's just that every so often he sleepwalks. Okay, the movie begins. Okay, and he's like lying on the ground. Beautiful shot. Beautiful shot. He's just lying on the ground in the middle of the road, on top of a hill, and we kind of like move in very slowly, and we kind of pan around him, and then he stands up, and then you see the whole view of the city, of the town rather. It's a small town. And he kind of smiles and gets on the bike and then goes home. And first of all, it's so good. Like the music itself is really good. The score is really good. But the fact that he's smiling after this, you're just kind of wondering. You're already like, there's a mystery here that is going to take a little bit of work to crack. Okay, right away you know this is a mysterious character. He's not what he seems. Let's get into it. And then it uses the Echo and the Bunnyman song, Killing Moon, so perfectly that, like, how, like, in teen movies or, like, stuff like Stranger Things or whatever, like, the use of, like, especially if it's set in the 80s, the use of music is so obvious and so obnoxious that you end up, like, hating it. Not here. Here, the use of whether it's Tears for Fears or Echo and the Bunnyman, the music is used so well, and it feels like it's a part of the score. It's like really, really well chosen music. In terms of like first movies, like this is a startling one. This is really, really impressive, okay? Because not only is the cinematography like really, really good throughout the movie, there's very kind of clever use of special effects. There's a very, very sharp script. Really, really strong script. I don't know if I would take anything away from that script. It's so freaking good. And the performances. The guy discovered Jake Gyllenhaal, Maggie Gyllenhaal, who's in this movie, who is very, very good as well. Everyone is in this movie. You got Drew Barrymore in there. You got Patrick Swayze in the darker role. that he's used to playing, and he knocks it out of the park. He's just perfect. And yeah, so you follow Donnie. You meet his family, of course, who are pretty normal, pretty normal family. He's just kind of having some issues. He goes to see a shrink. He takes some pills to, antidepressants or whatever, or he doesn't really take them, but and he keeps having these dreams of this rabbit, this like human-sized rabbit that is a really interesting design, like the mask itself, who talks to him and just tells him, it's the end of the world is coming. And the movie kind of begins with like something crashing into his family house. Okay, Donnie kind of like leaves his bedroom and goes to a golf course, sleepwalking. Okay, at that exact moment, part of a plane literally crashes into his bedroom and destroys most of the house. Okay, so already there's another mystery there that you kind of want to crack, and you meet all these kind of like side characters as well that are very interesting. There's a character called Grandma Death, who's this old lady who just goes back and forth from her house to the mailbox expecting something. We don't know what it is. There's a lot of little mysteries in this movie that you're just like aching to get answers for, and the movie doesn't make it easy for you. Okay? It takes a couple of viewings to really get what this movie is doing. When you find out, you're like, damn, I gotta watch it again. Because you gotta pick up on all those little things. There is kind of a twist to this movie, but it's not done in a Sixth Sense kind of way where it's just like, oh, this changes everything. It's done in a very kind of understated way where you're just meant to get it, and you probably don't the first time you're watching it, but you've got kind of a sense for what it means. But it works really well as a teen movie. It works really well as I want to say supernatural drama, but more like sci-fi. It works really well as a kind of sci-fi drama. It's got a great score, great cast, great soundtrack, and it really taps into this feeling when you're a teenager of being disconnected from the rest of the world and not knowing whether this is a you problem or if there's something grander, something bigger around you that is causing this to happen. Okay, so this movie cleverly suggests, you know what, maybe it isn't you. Maybe there is something around you that's happening that you just don't realize. Everyone's kind of connected in this movie in ways they don't realize they're connected to each other. And the message in this movie is very interesting, when you pick up on what the story actually culminates to. Jake Gyllenhaal is a revelation in this movie. He is freaking fantastic. I don't think he's ever been better than he has been in this movie. And he's been great in lots of movies. Like, he's been awesome in even stuff like Bubble Boy. He was awesome in. He is fantastic here. In a perfect world, this would be kind of an Oscar nomination kind of moment. But Donnie Darko really went under the radar initially, and it took a bit of time for people to catch up with this movie. But I rewatched this movie several times, obviously, over the years. But I rewatched it recently, and it holds up. This movie holds up. You don't get bored 1 second watching this movie, okay? It's super entertaining. It makes you think a little bit, okay? There's a lot of homages to different kind of things from the 80s, stuff like Evil Dead. Like, there's a few horror movie references like Stephen King. And it doesn't overdo the 80s stuff, although it makes it very obvious that this is set in the 80s. But it's not like everyone has a Rubik's Cube, right, walking around wearing bright colors. It's actually quite the opposite. Like, the colors in this movie are quite muted, quite kind of like bluish, kind of because you want to have this contrast, right? Look, if you've never seen Donnie Darko, I can't recommend this movie enough. It is a mini masterpiece. It really is. Like, it's a must-see teen movie. If you see one teen movie, you might as well make it this one. Like, it's just so freaking good. It's funny as well. The dark sense of humor is very effective, actually. And I like the humor in this movie because it's all in sharp little bursts of wittiness, okay? But you actually care about these characters a lot. Like, you surprise yourself by the end by how much you care about these characters. Like, the whole family of Donnie Darko and his friends Actually, Seth Rogen's in this movie, which I was amazed to find. I keep forgetting he's in this movie. He's got a small role. He's got like one line or something. Um, he plays like one of the bullies in the school. So weird to watch this movie back and be like, oh yeah, Seth Rogen is in this movie. I forgot about that. You got some iconic moments, like of course the scene where the bunny is like in the theater, sitting in the theater with Donnie Darko. They're having this very deep conversation. The scene with the freaking like the abyss style tubes coming out of people's chests. The school intro scene with the music is really good. The Smurfette theory is very important in this movie as well. No, I just love this movie. There's something about this movie that feels different than any other movie, and it's an experience watching it, and it's not an experience like any other. Definitely check out Donnie Darko if you haven't seen it. It's a must. It really is, and it's a shame that Richard Kelly hasn't done anything as good as Donnie Darko since. He's made The Box, which was quite good. I like The Box. And Southland Tales was just all over the map. I couldn't get into that at all. Southland Tales is maybe the complete opposite of this movie, and yet they have similarities. Like they're both kind of sci-fi movies with kind of characters you kind of really like, but at the same time, Southland Tales feels completely alien. It's so disjointed. It's really hard to get into it. Whereas this movie, bam, it gets you right away, never lets go. Even The Box, not as memorable as Donnie Darko, but very simple concept. Right away, bam, it gets you in, and then you can enjoy the movie. Southland Tales takes a bit more work. Even then, I don't think it's that good. But at least it's ambitious. And I really hope that Richard Kelly has another Donnie Darko in him at some point, okay? Because this is one talented director. And he had a burst of creativity with this movie. So freaking good. Check it out.